Good day, everyone. Today, we will be presenting an analysis of business strategy of Sunshine Holding PLC. And this analysis is based on company's 2025 to 2026 annual report and applies key business strategy concepts to evaluate how they create competitive advantage and how they execute its strategy. So during this podcast, we will examine the company's strategic direction, internal and external environment, and competitive strategy, and how they execute their strategy, leadership, organizational capability, and financial performance. And finally, we will conclude the podcast with recommendation for future growth of Sunshine. So if we look at the history of Sunshine, 1967 as a single retail pharmacy in Gampol area, and now it has become one of most respected business in Sri Lanka, and it's mainly operate across three core business sectors: healthcare, consumer goods, and agribusinesses. And one of Sunshine Holdings' greatest strength is diversification. So unlike the companies that depend on single industry, Sunshine spread their operation across several sectors. This reduce business risk of Sunshine and create stability, because a weaker performance in one sector can often be offset by strong result in other. So the annual report also highlight Sunshine create values by integrating strategy, governance, innovation, sustainability, and financial performance into one business model rather than treating them as separate function. So let's see what's their vision and mission. So their vision is to be most admired conglomerate in Sri Lanka. That's their mission. So growing our enterprises to be industry leaders. So that's their mission. Their values are integrity, trust, innovation, perseverance, and responsibility. Of course, these values guide decision making and support ethical business practice of Sunshine, while strengthening their relationship with customer, employees, investors, as well as the society. From the strategic management perspective, Sunshine Holdings follows a diversification strategy. The company has expanded beyond its original pharmaceutical retail businesses into healthcare manufacturing, medical device, consumer brands, tea export, plantation, palm oil, and dairy. This diversified portfolio allows the company to reduce dependence on single market while creating synergies between businesses. Another important aspect of Sunshine strategy is vertical integration. In healthcare, the company participates across the value chain, including imports, distribution, retail, research and development, and manufacturing. In the consumer business, it manages activities from tea production to branded products sold locally and internationally. In my opinion, this strategic direction has positioned Sunshine Holding as a resilient organization that capable of adapting to changing market conditions while maintaining long-term growth and shareholder values. So, to evaluate Sunshine Holdings' internal environment, we'll use SWOT analysis. So, Sunshine Holding has several strategic strengths that supports its competitive position. The first strength is its diversified business portfolio. The company operates in healthcare, consumer goods, and agribusiness, reducing dependence on single industry and creating multiple revenue streams. This diversification improves resilience during economic uncertainty. A second strength is its strong brand portfolio. So another key strength is vertical integration, particularly in healthcare. Sunshine participates across the healthcare value chain, including imports, distribution, retail, manufacturing, R&D. This integration improves supply chain efficiency, quality control, and profitability. When it comes to weaknesses, despite its strengths, Sunshine Holdings faces several internal challenges. One weakness is its dependence on imported pharmaceutical products and raw material. Exchange rate fluctuation can global supply chain disrupt that product availability and supply chain. Another weakness is the complexity of managing diversified group operating across multiple industries, requires effective coordination, experienced leadership, and significant investment in management resources. Many of Sunshine's capabilities are difficult to find among competitors. The company is recognized as Sri Lanka's most integrated healthcare company, operating across pharmaceutical imports, distribution, retail pharmacies, research and development facilities, and manufacturing. Very few competitors possess such an extensive healthcare ecosystem. Sunshine competitive advantage are also difficult to imitate. Its nearly 60 years history, trusted reputation, established brands, experienced workforce, and a strategic partnership have been developed over decades. Competitors cannot easily replicate this combination of customer trust, operational experience, and market presence. Finally, the company is well organized to utilize these resources. Its corporate governance framework, experienced leadership team, integrated reporting approach, and a structured business segment enable Sunshine Holdings to effectively convert its resource into sustainable business performance. According to Porter's generic strategies, organizations compete through cost leadership, differentiation, or focus. Sunshine Holding primarily follows a differentiation strategy. Rather than competing solely on price, the company differentiates itself through high quality products, trusted brands, innovation, healthcare expertise, and superior customer service. Brands such as HealthGuard, Sista, Vitality, Runcarter, and Dainty have built strong customer loyalty, allowing the company to maintain a premium market position. At the same time, Sunshine achieves cost efficiency through economics of scale, integrated supply chain, vertical integration. However, these efficiencies support a differentiation strategy rather than replacing it. So, in our assessment, Sunshine Holding has developed a sustainable competitive advantage through valuable resources, trusted branded, integrated operation, and clear differentiation strategy. So, these strengths position the company well for long. The company follows related diversification as their corporate strategy. By operating in three complementary sectors like healthcare, consumer goods, and agribusiness. Although these industries are in different uh, areas, they all focus on improving the quality of life of Sri Lankan consumers. This allows Sunshine to spread their risk while creating synergies across its businesses. Another key aspect of Sunshine's corporate strategy is vertical integration. So, in the healthcare sector, the company manages multiple stages of the value chain, including pharmaceutical imports, distribution, retail, R&D, and manufacturing. When it comes to consumer sector, it has built an integrated value chain from tea production and processing to branding, marketing, and international export. This strategy improves operational efficiency. The company also benefits from strategic partnership with leading international pharmaceutical and healthcare companies like Zydus Cadila, Cipla, Truic. These partnerships provide access to advanced product technologies and global expertise, strengthening their competitive position in Sri Lanka. Even the best strategy will fail without effective execution. So, how Sunshine Holdings align its organizational structure with its strategic objective by maintaining dedicated management teams for each business segment while providing overall direction through the group leadership. This enables both operation efficiency and strategic coordination across the organization. Leadership is another important success factor at the Sunshine Holdings. The company emphasizes strong corporate governance, ethical decision making, accountability, and transparency. So, these principles build stakeholder confidence and support their sustainable long term growth. The company culture is built around five core values: integrity, trust, innovation, perseverance, and responsibility, as I mentioned earlier. These values encourage innovation, employee engagement, and responsible business conduct, helping the organization adapt to change market conditions. Furthermore, Sunshine integrates sustainability to its business strategy by focusing on environment stewardship also. It is embedded within the company's long-term value creation model. So in summary, Sunshine Holding has successfully aligned its corporate strategy, organizational structure, leadership and culture. So this strong execution capability enables a company's strategy can only be considered successful if it is delivers strong financial performance. So Sunshine Holding has maintained a diversified revenue based by operating across healthcare, consumer good and agribusiness. So this business model reduces dependence on single industry and helps the group remain resilient during periods of economic uncertainty. Healthcare continues to be the largest contributor to the group, accounting for 56.8% of total revenue and 49.6% of profit before tax. The consumer segment contributes 28.9% of revenue and 11.7% of profit before tax, while the agribusiness segment contributes 14.3% of revenue and 38.7% of profit before tax. These figures demonstrate that Sunshine has successfully balanced its portfolio, with each business segment making a meaningful contribution to overall performance. The annual report also indicates that the board remains confident about the group's financial position. It recommends dividends to shareholders, confirms that company satisfy the solvency requirement, and states that the business has been prepared on going concern basis. So these are positive indicators of financial stability and investor confidence. From a strategic perspective, the financial results show that Sunshine diversification strategy has reduced risk while generating sustainable long-term value. Although Sunshine Holding has achieved strong market position, there are several opportunities for future improvements. First, the company should continue expanding its digital transformation initiative by investing in digital healthcare, data analytics, and automation to improve operational efficiency and customer experience. Second, Sunshine should strengthen their international presence by expanding export of its consumer brands into new regional and global markets, reducing dependence on the domestic economy. Third, the group should continue increasing investment in research, innovation, and sustainable manufacturing to maintain its competitive advantage while meeting growing environmental expectation of the society. Finally, Sunshine should further develop its environmental, social, and governance initiatives. Strong sustainability performance can enhance the company's reputation, attract responsible investors, and create long-term value for all stakeholders. So, in conclusion, Sunshine Holding PLC has developed a strong and sustainable business strategy based on diversification, trusted brands, vertical integration, innovation, and sound corporate governance. The company's strengths include its leadership in healthcare, well-established consumer brands, integrated business model, experience management, and commitment to sustainability. These capabilities have enabled Sunshine to remain competitive despite economic challenges and changing market conditions. Based on my analysis using PESL, SWOT, BRIO, Porter's generic strategies, and corporate strategy concepts, I believe Sunshine Holding possesses a sustainable competitive advantage. Its ability to execute a strategy effectively supported by strong financial performance and responsible leadership position the company well for continued growth. Thank you for listening to my podcast, and this concludes my strategic analysis of Sunshine Holding PLC. I appreciate your time and attention. I hope this analysis has demonstrated how strategic management theories can be applied to evaluate the long-term success of diversified Sri Lanka conglomerate. Thank you.